So I just got done watching the Gorge, an Apple TV Plus film that I don't think anyone had any expectations or high hopes at all for. I guess if you're looking for an action shooter film with a romance written like it's in the mid 2000s, you might enjoy it. Boy, was this movie difficult to sit through. I mean, I had to be skipping forward and backwards a couple times. I was just so fucking tired of everything that was happening on screen. I just wanted to get to all the good stuff, I want to see the Gorge shit. This movie had me genuinely cringing at certain moments because of just how poorly developed this romance is. Holy shit. We follow Anya Taylor-Joy and Miles Teller, two expert marksmen who have been tasked to watch over this area called the Gorge. It is unknown exactly as to why this gorge must be protected by only two people on opposite sides of it. But that's the whole movie. They need to prevent something from crawling out, and when Miles Teller falls into the void, Anya Taylor-Joy follows suit. So the question is, will these two folks on opposite ends of the world figure out how to get out of this mess? Or will they perhaps just die inside this horrible dark place called the Gorge? And if you're worried that I spoiled this film for you, fear not! It was included in the trailer that they jump into the void. Well, Miles Teller falls in, Anya follows, because there's a romance that gets built between them, and you must have not seen a lot of movies and you did not see that kind of, arc coming. Yeah, everything about this movie is completely predictable. You can see it from 100 miles away. Every single step that's going to happen. I don't want to make it seem like I have a problem with this plot, with the narrative. I just hate how it was presented to us because it's so goddamn forced. This relationship, this whole narrative, the story, it's so rushed, forced, and felt goddamn underwhelming and unbelievable. I didn't believe their chemistry or romance at all. Not a single second. Maybe I'm being a little bit too harsh. I did believe them to some degree. I love Miles Teller. I love Anya Taylor-Joy. These two actors are fan-fucking-tastic. Oh, and in case you didn't know, Sigourney Weaver is also in this film as the person who employs Miles Teller's character. But the focus of this movie is Miles and Anya, their relationship, and how they are dealing or managing being like babysitters for this area. Let's get the production talk out of the way. This is a good looking movie as per usual with Apple TV Plus stuff. The creature designs that we get to see in this movie is pretty fucking awesome, pretty creepy, especially once they get stuck in the Gorge. That was pretty awesome. There's this really cool scene where our characters have to walk through this catwalk that's covered in like interconnected people webbed up and some kind of weird gooish thing-like texture or whatever. It's a solid looking movie that doesn't really have much style to it, but it is feasibly presented here. The concept and plot of this movie is really fucking fascinating, and it's just held back due to some really poor writing. It's the script holding this movie back from being good, because the moment you think about it, it's when you realize that nothing really makes sense. Why is it that only two people are watching this gorge? And, especially when they're sleeping, who's watching it when they're sleeping? Do the monsters only decide to try to crawl out of this place when our characters are awake? Come on! And like I said before, the romance between Miles Teller and Anya Taylor-Joy is just so goddamn rushed. I just couldn't feel invested at all. I couldn't invest in anything that was happening because this movie just didn't really properly develop the world itself, the Gorge, this job that they have to do, while developing properly this relationship. It just kind of happens. We jump right into it. They don't really they're not hesitating. They're just immediately like, yeah, let's just get to know each other. Let's fuck. I'm not saying that romance can't happen between these two characters. It's just that this movie opens up establishing our characters as distant, expendable folks who don't really have any connections in their life. They're lonely people that don't really associate with anyone, which is exactly why they were picked for this job. So the fact that this film immediately just throws them together without building some semblance of chemistry, I was actually taken aback. I was like, what the fuck is this? Also, it seems like the creators and writer just did not know the distance between their towers. I don't know, there was some extreme inconsistency with this. We see Miles Teller and Anya Taylor-Joy having to magnify their fucking goggles and shit like 3 or 4 times to be able to finally see each other, but then in another scene, or just a scene right next to that scene, they don't even use it. They just look right at each other across, being able to see what each other's doing. And I'm just like, what? There were like 2 or 3 times where Anya Taylor-Joy just knew that Miles Teller was looking at her from all the way in the tower. Like, what the fuck is happening with this movie? Why are we still sticking with this trope that people have this sixth sense to know when someone's looking at them? Please stop. Yeah, if you can't tell, this movie kind of pissed me off with just how poor the writing is. I mean, this writing is just offensively bad at certain moments. It's like the writer just took the easy way out. They never actually thought about anything that happens within the movie or to the characters. They just thought of like the quickest and easiest way to get the plot moving along because they need to rush everything. Also, there wasn't a single second where I felt scared for our characters, where I really felt scared at all about anything that was happening to them, which is disappointing because this movie is banking on selling us the idea that these people, Miles Teller and Anya Taylor-Joy, cannot allow these motherfuckers to crawl out and potentially, I guess, do something to the whole world. But from start to finish, I was never worried about anything that was happening on screen. I was never scared or felt the intensity of what this scene was hoping for me to have or to feel. I don't know, maybe I just need to give this movie a second or third watch to maybe feel a bit better about it, but I don't know, I don't want to sit through that shit again. This movie is a missed opportunity. When I was watching this, I was constantly thinking about the Korean film #Alive. That movie did a much better job at developing the relationship between those characters compared to this one. If the Gorge just took its time developing our characters more, developing the world, the setting, the Gorge, allowing these characters to slowly build up chemistry and a relationship, then I believe everything that's happening on screen, but they will also need to have some good action, at least make it work. Yeah, even the action wasn't all that great. What really makes this movie at least sort of stand out is, like I said, the creature designs, the fucking monsters and shit that's happening, that they are discovering. I don't have much else to say. I could definitely see folks having a good time with this movie, even after all the issues. You know, you could probably just ignore everything I just said and have a good time with the romance and the semi-subpar action. It's like what I said in the beginning, it's like some mid-2000s action flick with a romance thrown in there. I guess if you're looking for something to watch at home, or maybe after Captain America Brave New World, this one wouldn't hurt. Alright, that's enough of me. I'll catch you guys next time.